invite up our comrade Elliot from Nodutur to speak on the stakes of our struggle against U.S. imperialism. Please give it up for Elliot.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
U.S. out of everywhere.
U.S. out of everywhere.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
U.S. out of everywhere.
U.S. out of everywhere.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Elliot, and I'm with Nodutul for Community Development. Happy Samir. 106 years ago today, 2 million Koreans resisted a wicked Japanese regime that starved our people, stole our rice, outlawed our language, beat and tortured our ancestors. We remember the courage of the Korean people who fought the Japanese Empire that enslaved over 200,000 women into sexual slavery, forcing Koreans to eat millet despite producing plentiful rice for the Japanese, and forcing over 5 million Korean workers and soldiers at gunpoint across their empire. Yu Gwan-seung, a 17-year-old Korean fighter against Japanese occupation, famously said as her last word in prison, "Even if my fingernails are torn out, ears and nose ripped apart, legs and arms crushed, this physical pain does not compare to the pain of losing my nation. My only remorse is having only one body to dedicate to my country." Samir emerged out of necessity. The necessity to resist, to fight back against oppression, and take back dignity. Just weeks after Koreans kicked out the Japanese, the US arrived. Instead of raising the Korean flag, they raised their own. The land that the Japanese forcibly took to build military bases was not returned to the Korean people, but instead claimed by the US for its own purposes. The US wants to claim it liberated Korea, but how could you call a country liberated when it's currently being occupied? True liberation is not measured by the removal of a flag of one oppressor to another. The struggle of the March 1st movement is not a thing of the past. As we speak, the US and South Korean military are plotting war games they call Freedom Shield. Every March and August during these games, tens of thousands of combined US and South Korean troops practice things like invading and occupying Korea, carpet bombing Korean cities, and even using nuclear bombs. The US can cancel these games if they wanted to, but they won't, because their goal isn't peace or diplomacy. It's to turn Korea into a war zone again. If the US really wanted peace, they wouldn't be polluting Korean land, they wouldn't be practicing invasion, and they wouldn't be propping South Korean leaders who declare martial law. During the Korean War, the US bombed and demolished over 80% of all cities on the Korean peninsula. They gunned down breastfeeding mothers with their babies still on their laps. Koreans are still digging up undetonated 1,000-pound bombs. The mass graves where soldiers massacred and dumped countless bodies still scar the land. In Korea, genocide is a haunting legacy that demands our action here today. And we know genocide is not done overnight, but through months and years of preparation, of war planning, and military armament. The US continues to normalize and practice acts of genocide through these war games. drills like Freedom Shield 25 in just 10 days. Korea is and has always been for Koreans. Just as the Japanese tried to convince the Korean people their presence is needed, the US tries to convince the Korean people that occupation brings peace. Let us hold on to our histories of resistance. Let us be inspired. Let us learn from our past struggles. We will not yet let US imperialism convince that war is the only way. While the people of this country do not have health care, don't have child care, don't have basic rights. We must fight this. Freedom Shield 25 must be canceled. Our lives are nothing to be toyed with. We have defeated Japanese imperialism before, and we know we can defeat US imperialism now. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
US out of everywhere.
US out of everywhere.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
US out of everywhere.
US out of everywhere.
Thank you, Elliot. Koreans for Decolonization is an organization for Korean students and allies. They traveled all the way from Philadelphia to be with us today. So give it up for Yalen.
Hi everyone! Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Saturday, honoring Hammarskjold and the resistance and just being in community with one another. My name is Yeun, and I'm an organizer for Koreans for Decolonization at Penn. Yay! Yeah, can we give some more love to all the Philly folks here today? Okay, well, growing up as a Korean American in the Deep South with working immigrant parents, my identity has often been used to divide and politicize rather than to be understood by my own terms. The work of undoing, decolonizing, and reclaiming my Koreanness beyond imperialist propaganda about my people and my motherland has been nothing short but laborious, but a labor of love, immense joy, and undeniable support. Knowing that a better world is possible when we are willing to reimagine the systems that have chained us have given me a sense of hope that even this wretched empire can take away. And K40 Penn, along with K40 UC Berkeley, UCLA, and Reed College are really excited to share this joint statement that we all composed together. We're really thrilled to be part of this growing movement of Korean students and allies organizing and creating something beautiful together just through this collective care for one another. We are Koreans for Decolonization because we ground ourselves in the legacy of our people's struggle for liberation and self-determination. Today we honor the 106th anniversary of Hammarskjold, when the Korean masses and diaspora mobilized against Japanese occupation and asserted an undying commitment to our people's independence. Yeah, let's go. Yet, Korea still has not achieved full liberation. Our motherland continues to be subjugated and militarized under US empire. Over the past year and a half, the student movement for Palestine showed us all the potentialities and possibilities of student organizing. Students have set up encampments, organized mutual aid funds, facilitated teach-ins, led rallies, and more. And in the midst of all of this, there has been a lot of discourse on sacrifice and what it means to sacrifice as students within the empire, and how we can engage in pedagogy and agitate unapologetically to ensure these movements are sustained. We organize under the name of decolonization because we understand sacrifice as a collective commitment. As students, the institutions we are part of actively work to dismantle spaces like ours to evade accountability and erase institutional memory. Shame. It is easy to call for evolution from a distance, but the true work lies in challenging these institutions and structures that uphold this empire. Decolonization does not reach backwards, but yearns forward. It asks us to reckon with the systems that we have known all our lives, systems that normalize US hypermilitarization, perpetuate cycles of violence, and use rhetoric to obscure the truth and distort history while harming our communities. As students living in this settler state, the belly of the beast, We recognize that our education, comfort, and privilege are built on this system and the blood of the oppressed. To dismantle these violent and oppressive systems, we must be in this fight. We must be in this fight here, where the power resides. And we must confront the imperial core and annihilate it at its heart. Our struggle is not isolated. It is interconnected with struggles for justice and dignity all over the world. Whether it is through US military presence in Korea, the continued occupation of Palestine, or the violent repression in the Philippines, our freedom is bound to the freedom of others. When we fight for the end of US militarization in Korea, we fight for an end for all forms of imperialism and capitalist exploitation. By situating ourselves as diasporic youth, we refuse isolation, we refuse silence. Through solidarity, we move beyond the systems that seek to suppress us. We show up because we believe in the power of organizing, the power of collective action, and the power of youth to resist, to fight back, and to build something beautiful together. Decolonization is not just resistance, it is a foundation for our collective liberation. The empire knows that we will win. We will remain vigilant, united, and steadfast in our pursuit of true liberation and for the infectious imperialist hands of the US empire to fall flatly and burn brightly. And we will not stop until Korea is reunified, until the US is out of Korea and the US is out of everywhere. Thank you.
Give it up for Yale! And next we have Echo from Korea Peace Now. Korea Peace Now is a grassroots organization and network across the United States mobilizing to end the Korean War. Please welcome Echo for Korea Peace Now.
Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for wars and occupation.
Not for wars and occupation.
Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for wars and occupation.
Not for wars and occupation.
I'm sure you have chanted these chants, the same chants in other rallies, and today we're chanting it again on the Korea issue. So I'm Echo, thank you Nodutor and everybody for hosting this rally. As we are joining this rally while the South Korea and US are holding their annual joint military exercises, last year, 275 days out of 365 days, there were joint military exercises that took place in South Korea. More and more, since 1953, these massive exercises are happening, and always B-2 and B-52H bombers that could carry nuclear weapons and include the decapitation methods of DPRK have been happening in Korea. I don't know if you know this, just about a year ago, there was a massive evacuation in an area called Yeonpyeong-do on the west side of Korea. People thought a war was going to break out. Over 500 people had to evacuate from their village to go to a safe shelter because they thought a war was going to break out. For most of us and most South Koreans, this is not something they experience, but that incident only a year ago, it is clear that Korean War is not far from over and everybody's safety is at risk. And October 2024, last year, there was an announcement that US State Department and South Korea will be agreeing on a military budget, which is over the next 5 years, it's going to be raising 8.3% in the first year and $1.125 billion for the military budget. While this agreement is unfolding, we must confront a grim reality that we're facing here in our land. Our Pentagon has failed for an audit for the 7th consecutive times. We must ask ourselves, where did the staggering $824 billion Pentagon budget go? Just taking $100 billion from that budget according to the People Over Pentagon Act, we could be sending 2 out of 3 public college students for free, their tuition for free. Thousands of people could be benefiting from public housing. Millions of school teachers could be hired. Healthcare, childcare could be available for thousands and thousands of people. Is this just a budget? This is not just a budget. This is investing in our future, in our land, for our people. Peace through force and solution through force will never pave the way to lasting peace. The unwavering dependence on sanctions, military pressure, only perpetuate the cycle of crisis and confrontation. We're skating on very thin ice, where a minor miscommunication during this war exercises or seemingly trivial mistakes during these war drills can reignite the Korean War. We're celebrating March 1st uprising today, yet we're still fighting for liberation of Korea. Let us stand together in recognizing the need for a new approach, which is a peaceful approach, which is a dialogue first, diplomacy first. It's time to end 72 years of Korean War. 72 years too long. For peace in Korea,
Peace in Korea.
no more war drills!
No